Hey everybody, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to do a tier list of the backpacks in the Bureau XCOM Declassified. The backpacks are one of the best customizable tools in this game, and it isn't always clear what backpacks are better than others, to the point that I'll even put out a disclaimer that this tier list is going to be totally subjective and is mostly like my thoughts after beating the game and trying out all of these backpacks. So let's jump into it. The standard issue pack gives no bonuses. Literally everything is better than this. So obviously lowest tier. The sharpshooter pack inflicts additional headshot damage. You get it in the mission The Doctor in the second resupply station. And it probably depends on your ability since it's based on headshots. It's definitely better than no bonuses though. So I'd say D if you're awful at shooters and C if you aren't awful at shooters. The bonus isn't super big. Next up is the Gunner pack, which reduces damage from enemy attacks and increases magazine size for all weapons, allowing agents to fire longer bursts. You get this in Operation Grifter inside the train next to the alien track. And the damage reduction is 10% and increases the magazine size by 30%. It's a great all-around pack that I actually stuck with in the game in my first playthrough for a while, which is super good for YOLO players like me. We're putting it in B. The Armor Piercer pack significantly increases weapon damage against armored targets. The damage increase is 30%, which is obviously really solid against armored opponents, which is basically all boss-like enemies in the game for the most part. And this pack definitely gets better as the game goes on, as things other than bosses are armored. So if you find yourself having a hard time with the bosses, but the rest of the game is pretty easy, this one's for you. I'm definitely putting it in A, because it deals with one of the harder parts of the game. Next up is the Medical pack, which slows your bleed out time when the wearer is incapacitated. You get it in Operation Guardian in the first missile control computer. It's great for others in your squad if you're expecting a crazy gunfight, but it's pretty easy for squad mates to get to you when you're down, and you're the one that needs to deal a ton of damage since your squaddies are basically only good for their abilities. So I'd put it in low C if you find yourself losing squad mates. Next up is the Tactician pack, which increases your ability range and weapon damage and reduces damage from enemy fire. You get this in the mission Signal from Beyond on the car lift near the garage's exit, and I actually love this for your squaddies. Like I said, they're mostly useful for their abilities, and you'll find the range in a lot of the damaging abilities to be not great. There is, however, a better version of this, so I will put it in B. Next up is the Shield Disruptor pack, which significantly increases damage against enemy shields, which is also from Signal from Beyond on an alien computer next to the treehouse. It's the same deal for me as the Armor Piercer, except mostly good against stronger normal enemies rather than bosses for the most part. So use it if you have an issue with those. We're putting it in A. The Kinetic Accelerator pack increases damage against enemies without shields. We get it in the mission Crack in the World after the first Elite Muton fight, which is good against enemies that are already easy, so maybe it's a speedrun pack. I don't know. It's in D. The Range Enhancer pack increases the range of all abilities. You get it in Not of This Earth in a resupply station past the bridge after meeting Agent Weaver. It's a better Tactician pack for squaddies since weapon damage doesn't really matter, so we're putting it in A. Next up is the Reaper pack, which significantly increases damage against enemies with low health. You also get it in Not of This Earth behind a screen showing an image of Axis after fighting Pete. Meh. It's fine to clean up bosses, but I'd rather just have a baseline boost, so I'm putting it in C. The Anti-Personnel pack increases weapon damage against unarmored targets. We get it in Operation Firestorm inside a big alien building after the Elite Phantom encounter. And I feel the same about this as the Kinetic Acceleration pack. It's good against people that are already easy, so I'm just putting it in D. The Laser Efficiency pack doubles laser weapon capacity. We get it in Crack of the World near the final generator. And I'm unconvinced this is better than the Gunner pack. Gunner has 20 less capacity for a damage boost as well. And it might be close because of how bullet spongy a bunch of enemies are, but I'm putting it in B nonetheless. The Endurance pack increases your maximum health, and when revived, the wearer also recovers additional health. You get this in Crack of the World as well, in front of the Avenger after turning off the gateway to the Zul'Jari homeworld. And because of how fast the cooldown for the heal is and how easy it is to hide and wait for it, I'm unconvinced health is that much of an issue. Unless you're just a psycho and run at them, so I'm putting in D. And the last of the packs that you get through the main story is the Tactical Focus Pack, which reduces recharge times for all abilities, but weapons become less accurate. You get this in Knot of This Earth next to a campfire in the caves near the Hunter's Hut. And I mean, squaddies barely deal damage anyway, so if you find yourself not being worried about accuracy but want to use abilities more, it's probably good. So I'll put it in B. Next up are the Dispatch mission drops. The Guardian Pack reduces damage from all attacks. You get it in Gearing Up, and I'm putting it in the lowest one because for the same reason as the Endurance Pack. We don't really care about being dealt damage. In the Point Blank Pack, enemies attacked at close range take more damage. You get it in Sleepwalkers. And this is totally my playstyle. It is totally a playstyle thing in general. If you're crazy, then go for it. For now, I'll put it in B. The Rupture Pack increases weapon damage against shields and armor. You get it in Cure. I like it since it's good against bad guys you might already have issues with, especially late game. And I probably want it in the late game, and I would argue it's probably the best pack in the late game. So I'm gonna make this an S for you. The Health Converter Pack reduces wearer's maximum health, but ability recharge times are much faster, found in Space Junk. And I think this is just the best backpack for squad mates for reasons I mentioned before. Health doesn't really matter, and you only use them for abilities, and this makes the abilities just better. The Corrosive Plasma Pack makes plasma weapons deal significantly more damage to mechanical enemies in claiming what's ours. And there's not a ton of mechanical enemies. The ones that exist are pretty easy to kill, and your backpack just wouldn't do anything most of the time. So I'm gonna put it in C because it's like fine, but not good. The Stabilization Assistance Pack significantly increases weapon accuracy. You get it in the Nanotechnology Dispatch mission, and the in-game bullet spread isn't that bad, so making it better is meh. The Blast Protection Pack significantly reduces damage from explosions and grenades. We get it in Vendetta. It's very easy to dodge the grenades, and rocket snipers are few and far between, so you'll never use this. F. And we also don't really care about being dealt damage, like for reasons we've said before. And last but not least, the Quick Charge Pack. It reduces recharge time for abilities. You get it in the Dispatch Mission Flight Test. And there are better versions of this, but if you want the ability option without any downsides and you're really worried about health, you find out your squaddies, you want them to deal more damage or are afraid they'll die too much or whatever, this one's awesome. So I'm gonna put it in A. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you end up playing the game, I hope you use my tier list for deciding what backpack you want to be wearing. You should also check me out on other social medias above me and in the description on Twitter, Discord, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. I'm sure there are others. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.